Welcome to all of us this evening, both virtually and those who are here present. It is the first Triduum here at Christ Cathedral. And how historical and special it is that you all could be here with us. However one thinks or even feels about these days, we are here together at a time and circumstance certainly not of our choosing or even making, but it is the time God has chosen for us, a providential time, I believe, to reflect on how we live our lives, how we live our faith, and affirm once more the truths of our faith and how that makes a difference in our lives. These past weeks, I have learned much more about Zoom technology than I could ever have imagined. And it has helped us in some fashion to be faithful to our works and tasks, and above all, our mission to go out to all the world. For example, this afternoon, I spent about an hour with about 130 families and young people from around the United States and the world. We had an exchange of faith for about an hour. They and I belong to a movement called Focolare, which means hearth or fireplace. It came right after the ruins of the Second World War and was founded by a woman from Trent in Italy, Chiara Lubitsch, to begin to rebuild society with the light and the warmth of love of Christ after the Second World War, light that was to be extended to everybody. All those young people and the folks, the families, some from here, were reflecting some of their own stories and times and thoughts of these days, and reflecting on one aspect in particular of Focolare spirituality, namely, Jesus forsaken, which is probably how many of us find ourselves in these days, or feel perhaps. And you know, the commonality of all those cultures and all those folks that we were together on Zoom was how to respond to God, living the devastation of this plague, where many of them certainly had the experience of Jesus forsaken in the Garden of Gethsemane that we experienced yesterday. Then later on, being at the hospital today and hearing from so many this week, this is an experience that we all share. I was blessed to be able to give a blessing to all the workers and patients at St. Joseph Hospital here in Orange, and I heard from them this afternoon. At the same time, the Focolare members, whom we call Focolarini, while reflecting on Jesus forsaken, also have the experience of being missionaries to spread the life and the love of the warmth of the risen Lord. They are sent forth, they would say, by the words of the angel in the gospel, do not be afraid. The words on Jesus to the women on Easter Sunday. The words of the angel to them, and then the words of Jesus on Easter Sunday night. Do not be afraid. You find it all over Easter Sunday. And not only do not be afraid, but go and be joyful. Let us remember that the Lord walks with us now. He meets us, the risen Lord, because God is faithful. And know that He will lead us out of this moment to the new life and new world He wishes us to be a part of. A new kind of resurrection, as it were. God is faithful, and He is risen as He said. Let us go. Now, accompany the women into Galilee. But let the risen Lord lead us each day in this beautiful season ahead, and not to be afraid. In our lives, to reflect what the word in Spanish says, resplandecer, to shine forth with the risen Lord. It is a message that is repeated year after year. We've heard it every year. But do we believe, or is it just one more notion that passes through our minds and hearts? We are given this year, I believe, a very special chance to say yes to that faith, to renew that faith, to be convinced of it, and to go to a new day, to say, yes, I believe with the church of every time and place and of those saints spoken of in our prayer. Let us go. Our friends are waiting. Let us announce the risen Lord with joy and peace and strength and conviction of heart.